which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our show, The Islamic Law Today. As usual, I would like to welcome with me Professor Muhammad Naem Asaee, the professor of several Islamic American universities in North America and a permanent member in the Fatwa committees in North America. Just a reminder, you can communicate with us through email, through islamiclawtoday@huda.tv, or you can call us at 002023855, 248 or 249, and you are welcome to call us, and inshallah we will answer your questions and make comments on your suggestions. As a reminder of what happened we were talking about last week, we were talking about that the Muslim scholars were absent in the revolution in Egypt, in what happened in Libya, and where else. And let's put this scenario. What if we assume that the Muslim scholars were the leaders of these revolutions? What could be the scenario of the political system or the revolution or the steps that they could take in their countries?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa qalban khashi'a wa rizqan wasi'a wa amalan mutaqabbalan wa du'a'an mustajaba. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-ikhlasa fi an-niyyati wal qawli wal 'amal. Alhimna rushdana wasta'milna salihin. Wa farj al-hamma 'anna wa 'an al-mahmumin wa nafis al-karba 'anna wa 'an al-makrubin. وانصر الإسلام والمسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها يا رب العالمين. آمين.
Amen.
Let me start by saying, if we are assuming that the Muslim scholars, and they will be inshallah ta'ala, because always we believe in the Muslim Ummah, we believe in people. Muslim scholars are there. They are existing. We have many of them everywhere in the Muslim countries, even out of Muslim countries. We believe that Muslim scholars is maybe the security key for any movement, for any revolution, because they are the people who are able to measure the things correctly and wisely, according to the Islamic law and its rules. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives these people a special vision, how to analyze the things and the situations, and how to take steps, how to make decisions. And I said before that the Muslim Ummah should be measured by its rulers and by its scholars. Wherever you have good scholars and good rulers, that means you have a good Ummah. And this is one of the meaning of the tajdeed, the renewal of this deen, inshallah ta'ala. That will be happening, inshallah ta'ala. And it is happening. It is going on, inshallah ta'ala. And this will not be able to happen without the support of the whole Muslim Ummah. Everyone in his measure, in his field, to support the idea of bringing back Islam, bring the real and the true understanding of this deen. The same way the Sahaba, they did understand Islam in his time, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and to bring back most or some of the beautiful work of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum wa ardahum. And this is, by the way, one of the meaning of غرباء. يعود الدين سيعود الدين غريبا كما بدأ. That this deen will become strange, like it did start. And what a big reward for those strangers. And I said before that we have nothing in our Islam to be negative, or to be taken as a negative meaning. Even when the Prophet mentioning the strangers in the last maybe, or the period of the Muslim history in the last maybe century, or maybe the last decade, does not mean that these people as strangers will just sit back and watch and stay at their homes to enjoy that title from the Prophet ﷺ. They have to activate that title. They have to put that title to the service, to the interest of their ummah, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
And that means they have to work. They have to bring back what we have said before, inshallah ta'ala, from all other maybe meanings of beautiful Islam and its understanding. I think before we start assuming that Muslim scholars are leading this revolution everywhere, and behind them the whole ummah, let me just put some fact as introduction for this issue, because we will say later on that the Muslim scholars, after they be able to gather the whole ummah behind them, or let me say around them or with them, to be the real representative of this ummah. The Muslim scholar cannot represent his ummah by just having a good position in this university or that college or maybe the other institute. He cannot represent the whole ummah by being a very famous person, to be made up by some maybe channels or some maybe media institute. He has really to represent his ummah, and the only one who is able to point out that this is the real representative is the ummah itself. When the ummah given its acceptance, its recognition to this scholar, he is the representative of this ummah, inshallah ta'ala. And I say, should not be one person, one scholar. It has to be the group of Muslim scholars everywhere, in Egypt, in Syria, in Libya, everywhere, inshallah ta'ala. So let us assume that they have done it the right way. The people are with them, and they are concluding their message and their demand by saying we would like to remove this unjust regime everywhere in the Muslim countries. Would like to see the replacement of that regime by seeing a real Muslim state and real application of the very beautiful and very wise Islamic law, Islamic rules, and would like to see the replacement of this regime by having the real and the true political ruling system in Islam, not like the ruling system we have seen in different periods of the Muslim history, like maybe Umayyads or Abbasids or Fatimids or Ayyubids. I would like to refer to the period of the ruling system in Islam where this period had the very high certificate from the Prophet ﷺ. When he said in his very authentic hadith, 30 years will come after him ﷺ to be خلافة راشدة على منهاج النبوة. It's very I don't know how to translate Khilafa Rashida. Khilafa Rashida means the
wise successor.
If you say monarchy system, republican system, this Khilafa system, but it is very Allahumma salli ala sayyidina. I don't know how to translate it. Some help.
Yeah. Khilafa
Rashida,
wise, or this is
or Khilafa supported and taken its credit from the Sharia itself. A system or political system is taken its authenticity and its credibility from Islam itself.
Okay.
على منهاج النبوة, and this is the prophethood system, the prophethood methodology in ruling people.
Guided ruling?
Could be. Yeah. So this is the 30 years ended by Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu ardah, and then he said ثم يكون ملكا عضوضا. Then the monarchy system, very tough, very stubborn monarchy system will start after that. So the Muslim scholars, they would like to see the return of Al-Khilafah Al-Rashida. And we have to put some fact here as introduction for this topic before we go further in our topic as a application of the Sharia and the ruling system in Islam. If I may, put some fact. At least you have some other maybe input before I start, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
Shall I go? Inshallah
Yeah,
ta'ala?
go ahead. Go ahead. I have several questions, but I would like to finish first this introduction that you want to give, so we can start the questions, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Why I'm just bringing to the table this fact? Because we have to be very realistic. Now we are living in a time where people are asking many questions. They have many concern about the term or the phrase of Sharia or Islamic law or Muslim state.
In fact, that was my question.
Really?
Yes, that many people are afraid from the Sharia law.
All right.
So, and they don't know what is Sharia law. And I had a question from someone. She asked me, what made people afraid from the Sharia? What exactly in Sharia that makes them afraid from applying the Sharia?
After we putting this fact on the table, inshallah ta'ala, to be in the brain, in the mind of the Muslims before they start talking about the beginning of the Sharia. First of this fact, just to refresh the mind and the memory of Muslims in general about themselves as a people, about themselves as identity, about themselves as a state, themselves as a history, themselves as a very civilized nation. It did exist one time in the history. So one of these facts, this ummah, Muslim ummah, I'm not talking about Egyptian, I'm talking about Muslim ummah in general.
Yes.
Take it from maybe Pakistan to, or from China, Far East, to maybe Andalusia, or maybe Morocco, or maybe in the North Africa. Muslim Ummah used to be one nation, not different nations. And this nation used to identify itself not by nationalism, not by the nationality of each maybe country, like the Egyptian nationality, Syrian, Libyan, Palestinian, etc. It used to be identified as a Muslim ummah, and everyone referred to himself as a Muslim. And if you read the history of the Prophet ﷺ and his Sahaba after they left the Arab Peninsula, go everywhere, they used to say Muslims did go, Muslims they came back from this area, Muslims they conquered, Muslims they opened, Muslims. So they ignored this, disregard every other maybe background to them at that time to be identified as a Muslim ummah.
They didn't call themselves Arabs or Asian or Indian.
No, because Islam is not for Arabs only, not for Ajams only, not for non-Arabs only. Islam is for the whole mankind.
Yes.
وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And this is a very special criteria for the Prophet. أُرْسِلَ لِلنَّاسِ يعني بكلهم. He's been sent to the all mankind, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the other fact that this ummah was not different state. It did happen in the Muslim history. And it didn't start this way. Muslim ummah used to be one state. And after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given his bliss and his mercy to the first generation to conquer and to open from the east to the west, and to be known, as I said, the miracle of Islam within 25 years only, all these countries to be under one umbrella, one Muslim state, and under one ruler. They have different maybe representative of this ruler everywhere, like the United States of America. They have one president,
but
they
several
have
governors.
Different governors,
yes,
in different states. So they are different states, but they are one state under one umbrella, one system under one ruler.
Yes.
It did happen in the Muslim history. If America did that for its own interest, they found it's very obvious in order to be superior, strong, civilized, able to send your message everywhere, that you have to be united. It did happen in the Muslim Ummah. So it did happen in Muslim history that they used to be one Ummah, under one state, under one umbrella, under one ruler.
Unfortunately, we have to go for a quick break and we'll come back. I know that we have a lot of things to say, so please stay with us.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Do you have questions that bother you? What about issues of concern to you? Would you like to share things on your mind with us? Are you interested in solutions based on an Islamic perspective? Please join me live in Meet Your Advisor every Friday at 9 p.m. Mecca time, here on Huda TV.
Be proactive.
How to be proactive in Islam, how to serve our religion, how to serve our life.
No, we want them to be proactive in matters that are related to their ummah, the true leader. And this is maybe we need to have this, okay, among us as Muslims. The true leader is the one who creates leaders.
So the society at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave the chance for the children to blossom.
Now who took the reward of this? The initiative of Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali bin Abi Talib took the reward because of his initiative.
How long have you been passive? How much time have you lost in your life because of negativity? Learn how to take conscious control over your life. Set your goals and work to achieve them in an Islamic way.
If you really love your wife, your children, your parents, your people, then you have to do your utmost. You have to do whatever you can in order to invite them to Islam. We are in need for this reminder. The main point is ikhlas, is sincerity, is what I want to get in the hereafter.
Join Sheikh Haytham Al-Haddad and his host, Muhammad Abdurrahim, in this inspiring show.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, unfortunately we had the break while you were talking about the Islamic history and when Muslims were in one state, and that by itself is a proof that it can be done again, and we should not be afraid if it happen again.
Yes, mashallah. No. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This says something very beautiful. And this is logic. They talk in logic. If anything happened in this universe one time, or this life one time, logically it could happen the second time. And
because the history repeats itself.
Not the history repeats itself, because it is, they call it under the logical possibilities.
Yes.
If anything happened one time, could be happen another time.
Yes.
So if it did happen in the history that Muslims used to be under one umbrella, ruled by one ruler, identified by their Islam, by their Islamic nationality, and they were very strong. And this is to add to the fact, when they had this experience before, it was very beautiful experience. They were very proud of having this experience in their history, in their mind. It was not bad experience. Like sometimes when you talk about someone, well, I have bad experience about being united with this person. I had before a company with many partners. Oh, it was very bad experience.
Like Soviet Union, for example. The Soviet
an
Union.
example.
Yes.
But this example or this experience was a very, very astonishing experience. Because in that time, Muslims were able to, not just to enjoy their Islam, not just to enjoy their own civilization, but to be able to spread all the keys of these beautiful meanings to everywhere. And they admit it in the West, in the darkness, in the Middle Age of Europe. They were able to receive these keys of knowledge and real civilization and to be able to remove themselves from that darkness to a new era in the whole history. So it was a beautiful experience. It was very strong. So why should not be done again? So we are talking about now, in our modern time, the 21st century, would like to have, as a Muslim scholars, one state ruled by one ruler, and to call it the United States of Muslims. United States of America, United States of Muslims. Should not be like a rejectable term, rejectable idea. Should be very welcomed. Because it did happen before. It's happening with some other people, and it did prove that it's very useful and very strong.
Yes, but some people will say that happened about 14 centuries ago. How we can form a Muslim state in nowadays with the new systems that is around us, the new political systems. Tell me how we can form a Muslim state in nowadays.
Very good. And this is again what does show the beauty of our Islam, that Islam is able all the time to be active, to be able to accommodate every new and modern experience, or maybe method or means. Because Islam is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's been sent not just to be in the corner of worshipping, in the corner of every aspect of life. You are worshipping Him subhanahu wa ta'ala through every aspect of your life. And you have not just to be a worshipper in that very narrow meaning, but to be a worshipper in the very wide range of that meaning, to be able to spread, to deliver, to let everyone share you in that beautiful meanings as a Muslim servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Muslim state, if we talk about Muslim state, how was formed in the first century, how be able to form it again in this new and modern century would be amazing, inshallah ta'ala.
Sure.
But let us put it this way, inshallah azza wa jal. If we just finish saying, it is not strange, it is not a rejectable idea to call Muslims everywhere to be united, right?
Yeah, all right.
Europe is calling for that. They have the European unity, right? They are still working further and further to strengthen their power and their ability to be one unit, to be one under one umbrella, to be able to spread their message. Every country does have its own message. Even America, United States of America, they have their message to spread all around the world. Unless they are superior, they are strong, they cannot spread. That's why now you could explain for our Muslim people, for our maybe kids and generation, why little kid, pizza is very famous to him. Hamburger, very famous to him. You could see all these fast food restaurants everywhere in Muslim countries. This is one of the reflection of the superiority of others.
Yes.
Long time ago, I did say in one of my book, this kind of, they call it the turban, the imama, the Islamic culture, the way you dress, was being going everywhere in the world. Because at that time, Muslims, they were very strong, very civilized. They have a very strong state, very strong identity. They were able to spread and send even their culture to be part of the culture of everywhere that they did go for it, for these noble meanings. Now again, calling for Muslims' unity, Muslim state, to be under one umbrella, and to form the Muslim state. What is the high definition of, or the maybe outline of the Muslim state as a political ruling system in Islam? Now, before we said that, you might ask me the question, and you should ask me that question.
What is the nature of this Muslim country?
Maybe is it something up to the people to work toward that big goal, to have Muslim state, to have Muslim ruler, to be ruled by Islam, or is it like up to everyone?
Yeah, can we put it on for voting, for people to choose to be accepted, or to accept to be ruled by the Sharia law, or that will be against the Sharia law itself to give them this choice?
All right. This is one of the facts I should put before I go for the Muslim state system in Islam. As a Muslim ummah, as we believe that we are Muslim ummah, we have a history, we have civilization, we have reference toward every step in our life, in Islam, it is the decision, it is the choose of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has chosen for us this deen. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Allah has accepted this deen for us. Allah has accepted and chosen this system for us. It is not up to Muslim after that, after he become Muslims, to say it's up to me to accept his rules or to reject it. It is up to him to accept Islam or not. لا إكراه في الدين, right?
Yes.
We cannot force anyone to be Muslim. But if you become Muslim and you said, I accept Allah as my Lord, and Islam as a deen, my deen, and the Prophet as my messenger, Book of Allah as my system in life, as a constitution, at that time, this is your choice. You have made your choice. You cannot go now back to the first step and say, it is up to me to accept these rules or not. It is very unlawful in Islam for a Muslim to put the Sharia of Allah or Islamic law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Islam in general in a box of voting or voting boxes to say it's up to the people to accept Islam or to reject it, to accept Islamic law or to reject it. Allah said subhanahu wa ta'ala وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. It is up to their choice, the first choice. When accept Islam, it has become logically the acceptance of every branch coming out of this Islam, which is the ruling yourself by the teaching of Allah, commandment of Allah, and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
We have a call from Egypt. Muhammad, assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead with your question.
I want to ask about the concept of freedom of Islam. In Islam, like we were discussing that وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. So they have no choice when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala passes judgment. But now does this contradict with the concept of freedom of religion, freedom of expression, and freedom of political freedom, all the concepts of freedom? How does Islam grant the freedom for the Muslims under the Muslim state?
Yeah.
Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah khairan.
Thank you very much. He's talking about the concept of freedom in Islam.
I was going to put that in a full topic, in a full episode, but let me just roughly and briefly say what the definition of freedom in Islam. When we say that they have no choice, we said they have made their choice. You are using different term, right?
Yes.
We said before you have the choice to be Muslim or not to be Muslim. Now you made your choice. I would like to be Muslim. Or before you make that decision, I'm going to tell you. If you become Muslim, you have to pray. You have to fast in Ramadan. You have to perform Hajj one time in your life if you are able. You have to do this. You have to not to do that. You have to stop doing this and that. Do you understand that? He said yes. All right. If you become Muslim now, and this is your choice, you have to accept what is coming out of this choice. The same way, someone said, I'm applying to be American citizen or American resident. All right. You have to know, if you become American citizen, you have this right and you have these responsibilities. You take it or leave it. Do you understand that? Yes. In that case, you become U.S. citizen, you have to be complying with the rules of the United States of America. So at the same time, when you become Muslim, you made your choice. And your choice is, I'm accepting Allah as my Lord. I'm accepting my Islam as my deen. I'm accepting my Prophet as messenger. Accepting my book of Allah as the big and the major and the only source of constitutional things in my life. So you made your choice. Now, for others, they choose to not be Muslim. They are welcome in a Muslim state.
This is what was my question.
Right?
What about the rights of the non-Muslims in the Muslim state?
All right, they choose to not be Muslim. Nobody can force them to change their decision. They are welcome, Jews, Christian, to stay and keep their religion and their faith and to worship their God the way their religion is telling them to do. This is a freedom, right?
Yes.
For the Muslims, he did make his choice. So you cannot separate between what is your decision what is coming out of your decision. Because in that case you are making some selective decisions. And that's just referring to that you are not serious about your decision you have made already. You cannot say, I would like to be part of the team of this maybe soccer club. But I would like to select my position. I have to select, the game I would like to play or not. It's not up to you. It's up to the coach, right? You believe in that coach. He will direct this team to reach the game, to reach the aim and the goal. Do we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes.
Of course.
We believe in Allah? Yes. We trust the Prophet alayhi salam? Yes. Do we trust Al-Qur'an Kareem?
Yes.
Yes. This is like a logical result of your choice. So saying that we have no choice, we said we made our choice, inshallah ta'ala. So, but this is as a fiqh issue. It is unlawful for Muslims in a Muslim state or in their life to say, it is up to me to accept Allah's rules or to reject it. Or to accept the application of the Sharia or to reject it. And if someone said, it is up to the people, because now we are in a very democratic atmosphere and environment, we are going to refer everything to the people. And now we are ignoring, disregarding the fact we have just brought to this episode. We are Muslim Ummah. We are identified as a Muslim Ummah. Used to be one state under one umbrella, one ruler, and we have our reference as the Book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So it's not up to the Muslim right now after he made his choice.
But what about those who lives in the same country but they are not Muslims and they don't want to be ruled by the Sharia, by the Muslims?
SubhanAllah, one of the major fiqh issues in Islamic law for Jews, Christians, they decided to not be Muslims. As I said, they are welcome to stay. They have the full right to stay and to live. And we'll talk later, maybe later on, about their status in Islam, very high status in Islam, not like others they believe. They have very high status as a minorities or part of the people of this country. How Islam has come with some very comprehensive rules to protect these people, their wealth, their blood, their honors, their properties, everything. So they are welcome to stay, and they are very secured, very safe. Now, regarding their own rules, their own issues like marriage, divorcing, inheritance, should we force them to accept our rules? In Islamic law, unanimous among Muslim scholars, it is up to them.
Up to them to choose
it or not. It's up to them to choose to refer to Islamic law or to choose to refer to their rules. They choose to go to the church, to their religious place, religious person, to tell them their issues, and they have certain rules to follow. It's up to them. Or some of them, they refer to Islamic law. So it is their choice to come to us or to come to their own authority, authorized people to solve their problems and to deal with their issues. But there is some other rules in a state. No one should be able to jump over it. It has to be general rules for everyone. Like even any state, even like a republican state or maybe a constitutional monarchy state, they have state and they call it general rules. It has to be over everyone. Everyone has to comply with these rules. Like there's no one allowed to steal or to commit adultery or maybe to spread corruptions in the society. It's like general rules, right? So we'll talk about the very beautiful meaning of the application of the Sharia in the next segment, inshallah. But now let me just finish talking about the form of the ruling state or ruling system in Islam, inshallah. How did this start in the Muslim history? They talk about democracy, democratic system. They talk about, like in America, Democrat and Republican. Talk about voting, elections, nominations. So that president has to come out of his people, right?
Yes.
Sometimes he maybe gain 59%, sometimes 61%, sometimes less or more. But the general title of his presidency to tell that he has come out of his people. Nobody forced the people to accept him as a president, right?
Yes.
What do we have in Islam to compete with this system? Not just to compete, but to go over it, to be higher than this system.
That could be the answer of Muhammad, because she sent an email about this topic, but inshallah we will listen to the answer inshallah after the break.
Did we finish? No.
Yes. So please stay with us.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high.
In your standpoint of view, are there specific or certain criteria to choose your spouse or a partner, to marry or not to marry? Maybe that's the question. Do we revise the quality of performance of our treatment between the family members as fathers or mothers? As they say usually, it's not what you say, it's how would you say it. Wouldn't you like to be a good storyteller for your kids? Neurobiologically speaking, child abuse and emotional trauma causes scars in the brain of the child, and this might be not easily healing. What's the exact job description of a father? Is it clothing, payments and feeding, or other important things? Well, I think the job description of a father is merely giving him love and care, self-confidence, giving him sense of security, and checking for the points of strengths to strengthen them. What about potty training and its planning? Oh yeah, actually, it's a state, it's a condition. Fatherhood is not a body or a person, it's a state. Are you a good or skillful designer for the policy and the long-term plans of the life of your kids? Join us every Wednesday for family issues.
Dear viewers, Hoda programs can be watched in the English section of the in-flight entertainment directory on board all Saudi airline flights, domestic and international. Sit back, relax and enjoy watching Hoda's entertaining and enlightening shows on your trip. Hoda wishes you a safe and successful journey. Hoda, a light in every home.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures He chose us to be high.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, we have an email from Muhammad. It's a question. Is it right in Islam to choose a ruler? We as Muslims, we have to choose the wise people, which is the Shura party or assembly. Then they can choose the ruler, not by just general election by all people.
This is what we are going to talk about, inshallah.
Yes.
To cover the political ruling system in Islam. First of all, we have to say that to compare between, or to make comparison between Islamic system and other system, you have to put in your mind that this system has not come from out of human brain. Man-made system and God-made system. So there's no comparison.
Of course.
But our role, our duties is to clarify, to clear some point, to show how much this beauty of Islam is so obvious, to refer everyone to his Islam, to his deen, and to be proud of being Muslim, inshallah ta'ala. In the system or political system in the West, which is the highest level of democracy, could be found in the United States of America. They have two parties. They are allowed to have more than two parties. Most likely they have two major parties in the United States of America. And everyone is trying his best and his effort to become the party accepted by majority of the people. They nominate some of them to be the presidential nominee for this party, and they have different system to reach the last maybe round of this race. At the end, they choose the people that this would be the President of the United States of America. Through all this system, through all this round, at the end, you found out that it is not really a pure selection or choice of the people, because not when they make a statistics study in the United States of America, what the percentage of those they are sharing in this vote. Not all of them. Sometimes 45%, 46%, 42%. That means a big percentage they are not sharing in this voting, even to choose the president of the United States of America. Maybe in Obama period he was the highest level of sharing or joining the voting.
Yes.
But that means there's a big percentage of the people they are not sharing in this. They are not giving their vote and their voice. What Islam is able to compete with this issue without having a comparison originally, would like to have someone who is really accepted, and he's the real nominee of the whole people, without having any kind of maybe gap or maybe some kind of hole, to let someone put his own input or his own feedback or maybe his own interest to force the people, or to maybe to turn or manipulate that race, to turn it instead to be the choice of the people, to be the choice of maybe his institute or his company or maybe his lobby or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is going on everywhere, right? In America, in France, in Britain. Many interests. And even Obama talk about that. The lobbyists, they are able to put their own input. They put money. They put influence. So you cannot have at the end a pure result of the election in anywhere in this world. Islam said we have different system. We cannot allow, first of all, the nominee person to call for himself.
He cannot nominate himself.
He cannot nominate himself. He cannot call for himself. He cannot give credit to himself. Someone else has to nominate him. And someone else has to give him the credit. Give him the real credibility that he is very qualified and eligible to be a nominee for this position. This is the role, the job, the duty for the correct Ahlul Hilli wal Aqd. Ahlul Hilli wal Aqd, they are the representative, the big and real and true representative of the whole people. They call it Ahlul Hilli wal Aqd. They are the big body, the supreme.
They are elected?
Yes, the supreme, very selective people from among the whole Muslim Ummah societies and communities. You should find in this body, we call it Ahlul Hilli wal Aqd, Muslim scholars, Muslim jurists. You have to see doctors, physicians, people in the field of physics, chemistry, scientists,
finance,
everything,
economy.
Any kind of major and field in the life you have to find in this body. And they have to be very, very elite people. How we select these people in our modern time right now, according to our Islamic criteria, Islamic fundamental rules, we have to make the operation of voting, selection, and electing. So we said that in the field of physicians, medical field, who is the most famous and acknowledged physicians in the society in Egypt, an example, or in Syria, or in Libya? Very known people, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have had very long and very noble experience and history and career. So you name these people, right? And you put them in the list that this would be among, would like to have at least maybe 4 or 5 to form the Ahlul Hilli wal Aqd, the body of representative the people of this country. So we'd like to have 4 physicians out of like 10 or 15. Yeah. And they have to have certain criteria in order to be eligible for these nominations. Before the people, they are vote for them. So we put this criteria. People, they vote, they said, we'd like to have this one, this one, this one. But all of them, they are eligible. All the 10 or the 15 are eligible and qualified.
Yes.
Just the people, what they do, they choose the best out of the best.
I see.
The best out of the best. So there's no game here. We'd like to have like Muslim scholars, the field of fiqh, in the Islamic law. We have like 10 or 15. According to the criteria, they are qualified. We'd like the people to choose 5 of them. So all of them, they are good. People, they are choosing good out of good or best out of best. And you go further in every field. At the end, you are selecting this big umbrella, big body, present the whole, like Muslim Ummah in Egypt or Syria or Libya or Sudan or anywhere else. When we have these people now, and as I said, criteria, knowledgeable, very wise, they have experience, they are very neutral, they have very truthful, faithful character. All these criteria, you have to put it together. When they are in that position now, these people now, they look. Now you have in this body every experience in your life. You have the engineering, you have teachers, you have professors, Muslim scholars, everything. These people, how they cannot be able to come up with nominees for presidency or to be a ruler for this country. They will be, mashallah ta'ala, extremely successful in bringing to the table, to the surface of nominations, very superior names. They said, well, we have at least 10 or 15. We need just one. But all the 15, according to this big body, are qualified to be the ruler of Egypt or Syria or Libya. Now we'll let the people now to choose one to be the best out of the best.
I see. This is beautiful.
SubhanAllah, that's what happened, but in a very, very simple way in the time of the Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Uthman al-Akhiri. This is exactly what happened, but in a very simple way, because at that time the administrative issues or the mechanism of that was very simple. But this is the spirit of it. You have people to represent people, very qualified people. They have no interest of being president, no interest to be like president. They are nominating someone, and that nominee person will be taking the acceptance and the qualification, credibility from its own people. That's why they said about Sayyidina Umar ibn Abdul Aziz radiallahu anhu, when he was renewing al-Islam in his time, and they call him Al-Khamisatul Khalif, the 5th Caliph, because he returned back to the same system with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was chosen by his relative before him, because he received the Khilafah as inheritance.
Yes.
Right? So he would like to, he wanted to return it back to the old system. Original one, the true one. He said, I'm giving you back, O people, this Khilafah. Your choice. You choose.
I see.
Subhanallah. All the people said, Ya Abba Allah Rasul illa Umar. All of them, they want Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. It was purely the high percentage of the whole, maybe election history that Sayyidina Umar had at that time. And he was renewing the political ruling system in Islam. So when you have this kind of performance, and this kind of formula, and this kind of maybe form, and this kind of body, this kind of real representative of the people, now you could imagine how much you're able to have a very experienced, very good qualified person to lead this country. And mashallah, every country you are in, Egypt, Syria, Libya, Sudan, you have many eligible people. You have many, right? You have many scientists, you have many scholars, you have many engineers, you have many people. They are full of options here. These people will come together to nominate some people, very qualified, very eligible, and let the people now choose. They said, I want this one, because how they choose the president or the ruler? Not just by names. They know him. He's a very honest person, very qualified person, very sincere, very to the service of his people. They have some kind of criteria, but after the people of the representative, we call it Majlisu al-Hill wal-Aqd, they have put all of these people, 15 or 10, all of them are qualified and eligible. People after that, they choose that. If we have that, if we have this one, after that, we'll elect the president of this country or the other country, the Muslim country. Now that person, how much he should stay in his position? Very important issue, right?
Yes.
They said we have had enough having one ruler for 30 years, 40 years.
We can get this, inshallah, next week. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Unfortunately, I was so interested and excited about this subject today. Inshallah, you can continue with us, inshallah, next week at the same time. And I would like to thank Professor Muhammad Naem Asaee for being with us and sharing with us his knowledge. And please remember that you can communicate with us through our email, islamiclawtoday@huda.tv. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Which of Allah's favors can we deny? Above all creatures, He chose us to be high. To Him we belong, to Him is our return. Life in this world is only a sojourn. To the angels He commanded that man be respected. Shaitan he did not, and so was he rejected. Compared to the angels, we are but clay. As long as Allah we obey, we'll not go astray. As the best of His creation, only us did He deem. This for us is honor, this high esteem. His qudrat it is that cause winds to blow. He gives us provision so that we may grow.